everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel for my very first video. If you're watching same day, it is Wednesday afternoon, and I hope you are having a great week so far. Alright, so to kick off my first video, I decided to combine two things that are very, very important to me and take up a lot of space in my heart. And that would be shelter dogs and teaching. I love sharing my knowledge, and I love giving shelter dogs makeovers. I love that so much. I want to share my knowledge with people that volunteer at shelters that can take care of, some basic grooming needs that dogs might have as they come into the shelter, and help them become more adoptable and more comfortable while they are there. So, without further ado, I will let the video begin, and please bear with me as I'm learning how to do this whole YouTube thing. I'll get better, I promise. Alright, have a great day, bye! Hey guys, welcome to my brand new YouTube channel. Today I'm joined by Shelly. She is from the Love Pet Project, and she has come today to my shop so that I can give her a few tips on how to groom some basic things when the dogs come into the shelter. A lot of times when dogs come into the shelter, they're pretty rough. And it's nice to have somebody on staff, I feel, that can conquer some of these grooming situations that need help right away. Alright, so Shelly, tell us a little bit about you. What has inspired you to work for the Love Pet Project?
Well, I've always loved dogs, and I had a very dear friend who was involved in the rescue area, and he got me started with Love Pet Project volunteering, and so now this will be coming up to my 5th year volunteering with them. And
That's a long time.
Yeah, I just love spending time with the dogs. It's my happy place to be there, and we love the help of people in the community, especially like you, who have volunteered so much of your time to help us help the dogs find a really good home.
Yes, I definitely enjoy it too. I mean, they all have special places in my heart. They help me to be a better person. My own experience working with shelter dogs can be pretty emotional. Like, I'm about to start crying right now. I know of dogs I've groomed where I can't get through it without crying. Dealing with those emotions, obviously, it's a challenge. So what do you do to try and deal with those emotions?
Yeah, it is tough. I think you love on them as much as you can, and cheer for them when they find that special home, And again, through fostering, you can do your best to set them up, to find a home.
So happy that you're here, and I'm so excited to be able to teach you some things. I love sharing my knowledge as well. So you brought a couple of dogs here today, and we'll get into them in just a second. But can you share what are you wanting out of today? What are you wanting to learn today?
This time I'm trying to learn about trimming bangs.
So let's get into it. Who do we have here today from the shelter?
This is Captain.
Hey, Captain.
He's a very sweet little male poodle. He's very friendly, but he's a little nervous right now.
I love his color. The things you wanted to learn today was trimming in between the eyes and then the bangs. When I'm shaving in between the eyes, I don't use anything closer than a 10 blade. So first things first, I'm going to learn how they are going to react to the sound and to me touching their face before I even try to go in and do any work. So I'm just going to turn the clippers on near their head. So he's not too reactive. He's like a little curious, kind of sniffed it a little bit, but he's not jumping away from it or trying to attack it or anything like that. So I'm going to bring it closer and then just kind of rub it over his head. You see how he's getting a little bit more uncomfortable now? Because he can feel the vibration of it, and it's also louder, obviously, because it's closer to his ears. And then once he starts getting comfortable with this, once he stops fidgeting while I'm doing that, I'm going to slowly work it forwards and just kind of pet him with it.
Okay.
And again, we're trying to get him used to the feel of two things. One, of me holding his face, and the second, the clipper going over his head.
Okay.
So you notice how at first he started to wiggle a little bit? I just continued to hold him gently. I'm not forcefully holding him. I'm still letting him have some leeway and some movement, but I'm not going to take my hand off of his face.
Okay.
You see how he's still moving?
Yeah.
He might try to paw at it. I am not being aggressive or assertive in any way. I am simply holding my hand on his face.
Okay.
That is it. So once he starts holding still, with everything, with me holding his face and with the clipper, then I'm going to start switching my stance so that I'm in front of him and he can see me.
Uh-huh.
You don't want to start that way at first because it's too direct for a dog. So start on the side like this, and then once you've got that taken care of and under control and he's comfortable, move on to standing in front of him and doing the same thing. I've also changed my grip from here to now it's here, and I have a finger looped through through the grooming loop to also secure his head and face. And then I have him, I'm just holding his chin, and I'm not pulling on his hair, I'm not pulling or yanking on his chin, I'm just simply holding him in place like that. And then I'm going to start doing it in front of him. You see how he's trying to pull him away, but I have a hold of that loop so he can't get away with it, right?
Okay.
That's a very important step. Make sure you have a hand in the loop.
Okay.
Because if you don't and he jerks away from you, you're going to lose him.
Okay.
So, and we don't want that. So again, we're just trying to get him okay with what this feels like and what this looks like. Just simply putting him back to the place I want him to be.
Okay.
I'm not jerking him back. I am not, whipping him around or anything. He pulls away over here. I'm going to put both my hands on him and move him back to the place I want. You don't want to just pull him forward by his face.
Okay, gotcha.
Move his whole body. Now I'm going to secure his muzzle a little bit more. So I've got my two fingers on the side here, on each side of his muzzle. You want to make sure that you're not blocking his air passages. So if you're holding his face like that, you can do it that way. But you can't squeeze too hard, because then you're going to block off his airway, and then he can't breathe. So then he's going to fight you, and then you're going to not be able to do what you need to do, because he's, fighting to live, so to breathe. Okay, I'm just going to bring the clipper right here. See how he's going to react. I'm just going to touch the little area right there, and then I'm going to give him a little break.
Okay.
Because again, that's uncomfortable, he's kind of moving around on me, it's not safe for me to keep trying to do it when he's moving. I need him to be still.
Yeah.
So we just got to keep doing the same thing over and over again and working our way up. And then to the touch. Good boy. In here, and I'm going to try to get a little bit closer to that eye.
Oh, you did a good job.
Good boy. You're so good now. Good job. Good boy. So we have that nice and cleaned out now. So we're going to move on to the bangs. So we're not going for a show top knot or anything right now. We're just going to get him to a point where he's comfortable comfortable in the shelter. Doesn't have hair in his eyes. The eyes aren't getting all matted and yucky, even worse. So again, I'm just getting him used to these shears.
Okay.
You can picture the bone structure of the eye socket. That's kind of what I'm going with
shape-wise.
I'm just going to follow that out there. And I flip the shears around in my hand.
Okay.
So we're keeping the tips away from the eye.
Yeah. Okay.
At this point. Once you get more comfortable, you can do it this direction and you'll get a different shape. But for now, since we're just starting, just keep the points out. And again, with a dog that is used to being groomed, I can move so much faster. But with him, We're gonna take it nice and slow. And you can toy around with the angle you hold the shears at to learn which direction is going to look what way. You're not gonna do anything wrong right now because you're learning. And this isn't a
Show dog.
A show dog is not a client dog. This is a shelter dog. So they will teach you so much.
Yes.
Shelter dogs. Now I'm going to switch. I'm always holding on to his face, no matter what. Like I'm walking.
Right.
I've always got a hand on him. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is what we're looking for today.
Yeah.
Just getting the face.
So you can see his eyes.
Yes. Yes. See the eyes. And he can see you. Hi. How are you? You're a good boy. Yes, you are. You are. When I would rather use thinning shears than shears in between the eyes.
Yeah.
You can use shears, but it's just you're going to get a blunt cut, and it's not going to be smooth. Yeah. So I would just, if you're going to use shears instead of a clipper, then use thinning shears. And again, you want to make sure you're keeping the point away from the eye. So as you're starting out, I'm just trying to get her used to the shears. It's okay. So with her, I'm just going to kind of open and close, let her get used to how that sounds and looks. Then I'm just going to slowly start on that hair, taking chunks, and pulling out.
Okay.
Then I'm going to take this comb, and comb up the hair that's left that I still want to get rid of. Good girl. So I'm going to leave some hair there for you to work on. On this other side, you're going to come in at this angle.
Okay.
Take a little hair out. So I will let you practice that. Okay, just give her a second and just pet her. Alright, it is your turn to try to put her. Rose. Good girl, Rose. Such a good girl. Yeah. And then don't forget to have your fingers inside.
Oh, yeah.
Where you need to. That's good. Much better.
Good girl. That's a good girl.
Yeah. It might not be in the cards for a little bit,
right.
and that's okay. So once we get to a certain point, we need to stop because it's just going to be too much.
Right.
The only thing I would do different, you're doing a really good job at cutting her. She's just not comfortable yet with how this feels on her and sounds. So you were staying out here, turning it on and letting her get used to that, and then going straight. Yeah, so
Too aggressive.
go from here to here,
Okay.
and start there.
Okay.
Good girl. Yeah, such a good girl. And honestly, it's done enough, I feel, for a shelter situation.
Right.
Good job.
She's cleaned up and
Yeah.
Alright guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much again for joining me on my very first YouTube video. I hope to do so much more with you and with pets and with shelter dogs. Please let me know in the comments your thoughts on what you'd like to see in the future. I plan on doing nail trim videos, how to bathe a dog properly videos. There was some about brushing, how to brush a dog properly. That's all coming up. So please be sure to come back next Wednesday afternoon. I'll see you there.